One of my favorite aspects of running an online business is the fact that I get to do cold outreach. It's such a pleasure, guys. I can't even begin to express to you how much I enjoy it. First of all, you get to spend your entire day looking at all your competitors' profiles on Instagram, and you kind of get reminded of the fact that they're making a lot more money than you, and you end up eating from their leftover leads. Then you go to their followers section and you're just flabbergasted at the sheer amount of followers that they have because they started posting long before you even thought of it. And then you start scrolling and scrolling. And once you finally crawl through enough of Bangladeshi and Indian and Pakistani bot accounts, you end up finding this one Glengarrian lead and you click on it and their bio matches perfectly with your ICP. So you send it a message and at the same time you get this subtle feeling of hope that maybe potentially down the horizon you end up doing a deal with this person and you end up getting paid if he ever responds. And then once you send that message, you go back and you keep going and going and going day after day after day. It's such a pleasurable, enjoyable process, isn't it? Let's cut the BS, guys. Nobody enjoys doing cold outreach. In fact, I could argue that I've never met a person who's doing it because they like it. They're always doing it because they have to. And it's such a tedious, tiresome, time-consuming process that if businesses had a way to skip it or not do it themselves, or at least not spend money on a VA to do it for them, they would absolutely want that solution 100% of the time. If I knew what a headache cold outreach would be when I was first starting my business, I would have reconsidered my options, like genuinely, and I would have been more okay with the fact of getting a job somewhere like at McDonald's and flipping some burgers and returning home late at night with oil all over my clothes and all that. Now, while I've been giving you this crazy intro, this AI agent was working in the background. This is a $2,000 AI agent that we built for a real coaching business that pretty much automates the entire prospecting part as well as the outreach part for Instagram. So it can pretty much find you targeted B2B leads and it can go ahead and send them a personalized message. So as you can see, it filled up this document right here with all the lead information as well as the personalized message. But now you want to see the crazier part. Let me just click on this browser automation agent and I'm going to run it. And now this agent, and by the way, you can see my hands, I'm not touching my computer, I'm not doing anything, is going to start messaging all those leads one by one. In this video, I'm gonna give you a very detailed breakdown of how this system works. Let's cross our fingers, guys, and hope that it doesn't click on my search or my explore tab, because then I'm gonna get very embarrassed. So now it's gonna hopefully send a message to this lady. Yes, it's gonna close that pop-up. Here are my hands, I'm not doing anything. This is not a video that you're seeing. This is like the agent taking control of my computer and doing the work for me. So it sent her the message and now it's gonna go back to the sheet and it's gonna grab the next person and then it's gonna go ahead and it's gonna send the message to that person. It's just gonna go on and on and on. Now think of how much value a solution like this can add to agencies, coaches, consultants, done for you, done with you service providers that are doing less than $30,000 per month. And they are forced to either do this process themselves or employ an $800 or $1,000 VA that barely speaks English. Guys, you want to hear something funny? I went to make me a sandwich and I accidentally forgot this agent running. And as you can see, it did a bunch of outreach here without me doing anything. And I already got a couple of responses. For example, this lady here saying, hey, thank you, only one-on-one mentoring, whatever. And I just got the idea that you can actually use this agent to sell the agent itself, which is very powerful. Only a small amount of businesses have this advantage out there. Now, if you want access to this agent, both the N8N template as well as the Axiom template, I'm going to be making it available for all my members inside the premium automator community. So you can join, go to the classroom, the vault, and here you get access to hundreds of different AI agent templates for any single use case that you can think of. These agents are ready to be downloaded, imported into your own accounts, and you can start using them, selling them, evolving them even further. And the best part is that I don't just give you my own agent templates, I also give you agents from other school communities as well. So you no longer have to be paying 10 different school subscriptions every single month. Now, on top of that, regarding this specific agent for cold Instagram outreach, we just did a 1 hour and 23-minute long video with the head developer of my agency, where you can see us building this system live on an empty canvas from scratch, node by node, making all the HTTP requests, all the integrations, coding with ChatGPT because we are no-code developers. Now, a few more things about this community, guys. We're going live twice a week, so you can hop on a live call with me. I'm definitely looking forward to meeting you. On those live calls, we're also doing live builds. We're providing technical support to you. We're helping you sign clients and a lot more. We also have a very active WhatsApp group where our members are helping each other. So you can see here, there's a lot of activity taking place. People are answering each other's questions. They're giving them advice. So it's a very tight-knit community, guys. If that's the kind of person you are and you want this connection with other AI agency owners. You also get a free N8N account when you join that is locally hosted on our own server. I mean, you can click the first link in the description and read all this yourself, but it's a lot of value. We also have a bunch of different testimonials. People are making $10,000 in a single deal, 30,000, 30,000 in a month, signing 5 clients in a day. We have all the social proof. So if you're interested, go ahead, click the first link in the description. You can get the license to go ahead and sell this agent as well as all my other agents. With that being said, let's finally dive into the workflow overview one by one. So we're going to take it node by node, and I'm going to show you what each node does. So first of all, please don't let this workflow intimidate you with all the code and HTTP request nodes. It is actually much simpler than you would think. And then another thing I want to tell you is that part of this agent, like 50% of it is built on N8N. So the N8N part is responsible for prospecting, finding the leads, enriching them with a personalized message, and then adding them on this Google Sheet right here. And then the other part of the agent that is responsible for the outreach, it is actually hosted on another platform called axiom.ai, which is less popular, but it is equally as powerful because Axiom allows you to build agents that take control of your browser, of your mouse and your keyboard, and they can run your computer, your browser without any API. So because they control your mouse and your keyboard, you don't necessarily need API access to other platforms that you're going to be using. With that said, guys, this workflow on N8N is of course where everything gets started. And you can see we're using a basic on-message Telegram trigger. So we've created a bot on Telegram, which is very easy to do, by the way. And every time you message that bot, it's going to start the system. Now, as far as initial queries, there are 2 different examples of queries that you can give to this system. The first one is give me, and then you just give it a number of leads that you want. So let's say give me 5,000 leads or generate me 5,000 leads from, and then you give it the handle of the Instagram page that you want to scrape. Now, there is a little caveat here, or a little limitation. This is not a limitation of our system, by the way, it's limitation of Instagram. So on Instagram, let's say if you want to scrape a page or a profile from one of your competitors who is a status fiend, if they're paying for the blue check mark or they're paying to have a verified account on Instagram, unfortunately, Instagram only shows you a maximum of 100 of their followers. So this system wouldn't really work. I mean, it would work for verified accounts too, but you're only going to be able to get 100 followers, which is a very small amount. So this system is best used for accounts that are not verified. And there are plenty of them out there. I mean, I don't have to explain to you why that works. There are just so many accounts out there, theme pages, even competitors of yours who are not necessarily paying to have a verified blue badge on their Instagram. This is the first example of an input that you can give to the system. And then the other example you can give to it is hashtag daily. Now you can see there is a switch right after the trigger. So if the initial input was not hashtag daily or doesn't contain hashtag daily, it's going to take this line of logic. And if it does contain it, it's going to take this line of logic. Now I'm going to explain this one first because it's much simpler. Although it would probably make more sense if I left it at the end, but it's actually very simple. So let's say you generate 5,000 leads with this system from whatever page. Now, all leads are going to be stored on the CRM subsheet of this Google Sheet. So you're gonna have like 5,000 people here, and they're all gonna say no where it says contacted. And let's say the first day you reach out to like, or you have the system reach out to 50 people, but then you have a bunch of leads here that are still not contacted yet. So if you DM it hashtag daily, what the system will do is going to read the information on this sheet, and it's going to take a number of prospects that are marked as no in the contacted column, and it's going to add them on the daily outreach column. So then when you enable the Axiom agent, it's going to be able to read all the leads that are located inside the daily outreach or subsheet, and it's going to reach out to them. So essentially this is what this does. It reads the CRM, and then here we have a limit. This is pretty much the limit of how many people you want to add to the daily outreach CRM, which is pretty much the number of people you want the system to outreach to. And for new accounts, I recommend doing no more than 30. For older accounts, if you've been doing outreach on IG for a long time, you can do like 100 or 120 if you're, if you've been doing it for a long time consistently. So yeah, then it adds those whatever amount of people you set to the daily outreach CRM. It maps the columns. It maps the contacted column as no, and then when you enable the Axiom agent, it's gonna see, okay, this person, we haven't reached out to him because it says no here. So let me go ahead and reach out to him. In any case, this is what this does. Now let's get to the more interesting part. So now let's say that you send a lead generation request to the agent. Instead of sending that hashtag daily, you send this or something similar to it. It's going to go through the switch, and it's going to take the upper part of the logic of the system. And the first thing that is going to happen is it's going to extract all the variables from your query. This is an information extractor node. It's very similar to the output parser that you can attach to your AI agents. So it takes this as input, and then it kind of breaks it down into different attributes. You can see it gets the Instagram profile handle, the URL of the Instagram page, which of course here we haven't included, and also the limit, which is the amount of followers or leads you want to scrape. Now this node requires an LLM to run, so we have connected it to a GPT-4o mini through OpenRouter. Now the reason we're using OpenRouter is because we want to be able to quickly test a lot of different LLMs, just so because this is a real project, we want to make sure that we're using the most cost efficient and also most effective models each time. From here, what we're doing next is we're preparing all the data for the HTTP requests that are going to be following later. So we set a set variables node, and then which is like an edit fields node, and we set as variables all the different like details that we're going to need to make API requests. So we need the IG handle, which comes from the input. We need the API of the parser.im platform, which is the platform we use in order to scrape Instagram profiles from followers, which I actually removed from here just so you guys can't see it. But from what I see, it also shows up here. So I might have to like do some edit magic. Then we set the limit, which is pretty much the amount of people or leads you want to scrape. And then here is where it gets a little more interesting. So we have the keywords, the minimum subscribers or minimum followers, and then maximum followers. And these are three different fields that allow you to make your prospecting even more targeted. So whatever keywords you include here, then the system is going to be able to only bring you leads that meet these keywords inside their bio. And it's going to do the same for minimum followers or maximum followers. So you can also give it a range of how many followers you want your leads to have if you know your ideal clients, just so it gets you the right people. Now, this field right here is also very important because without it, the system would only be able to give you people that have this exact same keyword inside their bio. So it's too dumb to know that if somebody has, let's say, coaching expert inside their bio, the system is too dumb to know that it should also give you this person because you say coach here. So you have to specify it, and this is how you do it. This is the best way I can explain it. Then from here we get to our first code node Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Let me just click on it. And guys, first of all, I have no idea what all this means. We have used ChatGPT in order to come up with this code. But essentially what this code does is it creates a get request URL for the scraping platform that we are going to use. So the way we put together this code is we copied the API documentation of this platform, and then we threw it in ChatGPT, and then we went back and forth with it until we came up with something that works. Now, arguably, you can have an LLM do this as well. However, a code is one, cheaper, infinitely cheaper, and then also it's also extremely predictable. So it's never going to make mistakes. It always works. So it prepares the URL that we're going to need to send to the scraping platform, which in this case is called parser.im, in order to generate the leads for us. Now, before I get to the HTTP request here, I want to explain to you a little bit about how parser.im works. So this is a platform that we found in the dark web. We didn't actually find it in the dark web, but that's a joke that we make with my team because it was so hard to find. And then when we found it, we couldn't even pay for it with normal money, like a credit card or something, because it's a Russian-owned or Russian-built platform. And now you're seeing the translated version, of course. And Russia was banned from SWIFT, and they don't accept like credit cards anymore or something like that. So we had to go through 10 different crypto exchanges, and we had to convert like different like currencies and all that in order to pay for it. I was almost certain that we were going to get scammed, but we didn't. Now, why is this platform such a big deal? Well, the reason is because the Instagram profile scrapers that you see on Apify and as well as many other platforms, the way they work is you have to connect your own Instagram account to it through cookies. And if you want to scrape a large amount of leads, like 60,000 leads almost that we scraped here, your own account is too weak to handle all that API usage. And IG or Meta, Mr. Zuckerberg, is just going to ban your account pretty much, and you're not going to be able to use it because there was too much activity happening on it too quickly. Now, the way parser.im is different is it's using proxies. So I assume they have their own Instagram accounts, and they have a bunch of them, and it kind of spreads the activity on all of them. So you can actually get a lot of leads, and you can scrape up to 3,000 profiles per hour, at least on the plan that I have, and you pay a fixed rate. It's like 35 a month or something like that. It depends on how you pay for it. That's kind of how messed up this is. But yeah, you can get like 3,000 leads per hour with it, which is a large number. And you can see, I'm not sure what's going on right now, but you can see it did almost like 50,000 leads or 54,000 leads in a single run. And it takes about an hour per 3K leads, let's say. But this is very powerful stuff, guys. In any case, let's go back to N8N. So yeah, we copied the API documentation of this site, and we used ChatGPT to help us understand. Now it's in Russian or what? To help us understand exactly what's happening. And then we came up with that code, and that code generates a URL that is necessary to make an API call to this site right here. Now we make the API call, which is a simple GET request, and all we need is this URL right here. No headers, no authentication, no body, none of it. Russians like to, they're simple people, man. I mean, look at the Soviet way of life. Aren't Russians, personally, I love Russians. I really enjoy them. And they're tough, man. You're like, don't play around with them. Fucking eat you alive, man. If you're a Russian watching this, bro, drop me a like and a comment below. Although I doubt, I don't know, do they have YouTube in Russia? Maybe. Never been there, but I actually do want to visit someday. It's very cold though. I'm kind of afraid maybe I get eaten by some sort of a bear, or maybe I get too drunk. Who knows? In any case, guys, so yeah, we make the GET request to this parser.im site. And then if you're wondering why this node is deactivated, all it does is pretty much sends you a notification on Telegram and tells you that, hey, this scraping request is currently active, so it's going on. So yeah, we make the scraping request, and then we make another request to check if the scraping request is actually completed. And here is how the URL looks like in this case. So this is a URL from their documentation. This is your API key that we set in the previous node, in the edit fields node or set fields node. And then mode equals start or status and TID, and then we input the TID at the end that we received from the first run that we made. Again, no authentications, headers, none of it. And then it goes into an if node. If the TID status is equal to completed, then it takes this upper route. And if it's not equal to completed, then it's just going to wait for a little bit. And then it's going to try again and again and again. And as I said before, guys, this can take up to like 1 hour per 3K leads, sometimes a little more. So it can take a while to get a good amount of leads. The only reason previously it worked so fast is because I had some pin data. So it made the system more, faster. Here we also have the same logic for Telegram reminders. So it's deactivated. And now we have another code node. Now let me give you some more clarity here, guys. So the way this platform works is you first have to make an API call to generate, let's say, 50,000 leads from whatever profile. So you give it the profile URL, and then it scrapes 50,000 leads from it. And then out of those 50,000 leads that it scraped, then you're able to make another API call to it. And that's called a filtering request. That's how they call it. And use the criteria that we have set before, these keywords, in order to minimize or kind of like only target the people that meet those criteria out of that batch of 50,000. So it's a little counterintuitive, but this is how it works. So all this code does is it generates the filtering request URL. And if we zoom in inside a little bit here, you're able to see, for example, filter. You can see the keywords, so instructor, expert, mentor, coach. You can see the minimum subscribers, the maximum subscribers. So yeah, this is what this code does right here. And then another API call, we're sending this this URL now, and it's just gonna filter all the scrape data that it got from the previous one. And then this is the same logic right here that you've seen before. So it's pretty much like a mechanism that checks if the request was completed. And once it is finally completed, then we pretty much make another API call to make sure that we get the filtered and scraped data from the parser.im platform. So this is how this URL looks like. Now the problem is that when we do receive the data, it looks like this. So it's a big mess, right? Just like my life. No, guys, my life is very organized. I'm a very diligent person. I would say that I'm competent as well. I'm the least messy person that you know. I'm a professional. In any case, you can see right here this code node. What it does is pretty much like organizes all this data in a way that is understandable, and we can actually do something with it, because this and this, they have a big difference, my friend. Now again, we did this with ChatGPT. All the code that you ever see in my builds, we do it with ChatGPT, and then we take this data and then we loop over each person one at a time. So we take this information of this person and then we loop over it. We write the personalized message with an AI agent. So you can see the input and then you can see the prompt. And by the way, if you're going to be using this yourself, you can like tweak this prompt however you want. And it's going to generate the first message accordingly. And then it pretty much like loops over every single lead until it finishes, and then it takes this route. Now here, this node right here is deactivated, but when you actually want to use this in a real world situation, it is recommended that you actually activate this node, because if you try to make, well, the way these agents work, guys, is they have their API, their brain that is connected to some sort of model via API. And if you try to call that API model too many times too fast, the API is going to block, so it's going to stop working. So this is what this node ensures doesn't happen here. So it kind of waits between each loop to give the API enough time to cool off, and then it starts using it again. But in any case, when it finally goes through all the leads, then it's going to go here and it's going to add all the prospects to this stable CRM, or the CRM right here. And then you can see it. I mean, this is relatively simple. It's just some basic like drag and dropping. You know, for the URL, we pretty much hard coded this in, and then at the end we add the handle of each profile. Then we set a limit of the number of leads that we want to be taken to the daily outreach CRM. All leads are going to be added to the CRM. Only that number of only a certain number of leads that you have set on the limit will be added on the daily outreach CRM. And then we have another limit here, which is just so we don't get a bunch of notifications on Telegram. So once it finally finishes, then it's going to go ahead and it's going to send you or whoever's using it a message on Telegram telling you, hey, your run is finished. You can start running the Axiom agent. Now, guys, you can see the data is right here. And as far as the Axiom agent goes, all you have to do is install the Chrome extension, plug in the JSON or the blueprint of this agent, and then click run, and it's going to start running. Now, I wish I understood exactly how this works, but I wasn't the one who built this specific Axiom agent. My developer actually put it together for me, so I'm not going to be able to break it down for you, unfortunately. I'm sure I can understand it, but I haven't really spent the time to do that. But it's going to be available inside my school community, guys. So you can just join, go to the classroom, go to the agent or the vault where you can get all the agent templates, and then just download it. Now, I'm proud to say, guys, that my school community, Automator Premium, is one of the few schools that are actually focused on real world use cases for AI agents. We don't follow the hype. All these people that I see on YouTube, they're just doing hype related videos. But at the end of the day, what matters, if you're watching this video, maybe you run a marketing agency, maybe you run a coaching business, maybe you're a high level professional, and you're interested in learning how to build AI agents, is because you want to make money with them in some way or another, either selling them or implementing them into your own business, or both. So this is the entire focus of my school community. There's going to be the first link inside the description, and also inside the live build video right here, my developer Vasislav explains how the Axiom agent works in more detail. But it's actually a very powerful tool, guys, very powerful. In any case, with all that being said, I'm now going to go for a walk because it's sunny outside, and I enjoy a little vitamin D, if you know what I mean. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.